So, the two different conscious communities thing, they're split because, well, one, it's like there are detractors on one side of saying that black people doesn't know how to fill out a voter card, or they don't know how to apply for identification, or they have unreasonable fear of dogs or something. And so they'll be like, you know, speaking to the correct, the over, compensating or something, like they'll be talking to the weirdness factor of it. Okay, but it's also weird to ignore another Epstein angle because you didn't break it yourself. Or maybe they just don't know, and they think it's a rap beef, and they don't know that it's more than that. I mean, all of the same celebrities, scumbags, and elites like the rap too. I wouldn't be surprised if they showed up trying to influence that culture over there too. It's not too far from me to expect that that would be an avenue that a ecumenical clandestine CIA would try to align with. They would want to do that. I mean, I was watching a channel called Ramsey Paul, and he was talking about how he just loves dogs and how they're easier to deal with than people. And I wanted to say, that's, because that's like, I know there's a type of people that are kind of like this, but those are the ones that are like, not the people I would consider to be conservatives, but they're like all into dogs and everything, unreasonably, like an overcompensating amount that to make up for their fractured self. Then they like dogs more than people, and they have this like sickness. I wanted to say that was what was wrong with him, but I would submit that where there's an example of something that's apparent, that obvious, that there would be some other scenarios that could be kind of like mimicked in there and like not necessarily consistent with that. So yeah, maybe he's just responding to the unreasonable fear that black people have of dogs, not that he prefers, if he would have to choose between running over somebody because his brakes on his car failed, right? Are you going to hit the dog, or are you going to hit the person that you already know you don't like? And a lot of people are going to swerve and hit the dog, okay? And I think you would too, even though you said all that stuff. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But that's the reason I brought up to his channel, was because I figured that they could get some traction on this other issue with the Mark Hotel. If you tell this guy that dogs have been harmed, if I told Ramsey Paul that dogs had been harmed, if you go on a blog like some of these other clowns, like that think it's just a rap beef, and they're talking about Natalie Biden shit, I can understand why they would be like, why do we want to focus on two gay rappers? But just getting mad because two rappers are getting a lot of traction, and there's a element of a conspiracy in a different conscious like community, doesn't make sense sooner or later. So it's just like, I don't know. Right now it's just a weird time because it seemed like, I can't tell if people are really here to expose wickedness or if it's just for their own I don't know, social it's gonna be a hustle. Everything is not a hustle. Shit. I mean, when you're electing a president that children would run from rather than receive a note in his hand or get his hair sniffed, and you're trying to arrest the president that if you ask a little kid if he wants to go back to his parents or if he wants to stay up on stage with Trump, and the little kid says Trump, I mean, what's the choice? What's the obvious choice? And there's other issues, and sure that, you have to keep reminding that you don't agree with them. I have to keep reminding you that I don't agree with everything somebody says. That's just like, I don't know, it never made sense. It's like people go after the wrong people first for the same reasons that would motivate you to get up and want to do anything in the first place. So then they also give you your arguments so that they can argue against those arguments. You know what I mean? They prepared arguments and then they hand them to you and then they refute them. And it sneaked us in, because I would have called them gaslighting, but they ran that word into the ground. So we got to come up with a different word. And so the white conscious community is going to be using the word gaslight. It's not going to get,